The forgotten letters. The rain poured steadily outside, its soft tapping against the windows filling the quiet room. Olivia sat alone on the worn-out couch, a shoebox in her hands, its edges frayed from time. She had found it earlier while clearing out the attic in her childhood home, now hers after her father's passing. The box, forgotten and buried under piles of old memories, was filled with letters, each one carefully addressed in her mother's handwriting. Her mother, Elena, had passed away when Olivia was just 10 years old, a vibrant life cut short by a sudden illness. After her mother's death, her father, James, had done his best to raise her, but he had never been the same. He was distant, quiet, and closed off, as if a part of him had died along with Elena. Growing up, Olivia had always resented the silence that hung between them. She often wondered why her father had never talked about her mother, never shared stories, or kept her memory alive. It was as though Elena had been erased from their lives, a ghost that lingered but was never acknowledged. Now, sitting alone in her father's old house, Olivia was holding that box full of memories she never knew existed. Her fingers traced the delicate handwriting on the top letter, her heart heavy with both curiosity and hesitation. Why had her father kept these letters hidden? What could they possibly contain that he hadn't wanted her to see? Slowly, she opened the first one. The paper was yellowed with age, but the words were still clear. "Dear James, I miss you. The doctors say I don't have much time left, and all I can think about is you and Olivia. I'm terrified of what will happen to you both when I'm gone. I know you're strong, but I worry you'll shut down, that you'll pull away from her. Don't do that, James. She'll need you more than ever. She's just a little girl, and she needs to know that it's okay to feel, to grieve. Don't push her away. I'm writing these letters for her, for the moments I'll miss. Her birthdays, her first heartbreak, her wedding day. I want her to know I'm still with her, even if I'm not physically there. Please give them to her when the time is right. I love you, always. Elena." Olivia's breath hitched as she finished reading. She couldn't believe what she had just uncovered. Her mother had written letters for her, letters meant to guide her through the milestones of her life, and her father had hidden them. Her hands shook as she pulled out the next one, this one addressed to her, marked with the words, "For your 16th birthday." She remembered her 16th birthday vividly. Her father had bought her a cake, but it had been a quiet affair, just the two of them. He had seemed distant, as he always did on special occasions, and Olivia had felt the familiar sting of her mother's absence. If only she had known about these letters back then. "My dearest Olivia, happy 16th birthday. I wish I could be there to celebrate with you. You're growing up so fast, and I'm sure you're becoming the beautiful, kind young woman I always knew you would be. This is such a special age, a time when you're figuring out who you are and what you want from life. I wish I could be there to guide you, to give you advice, but since I can't, here's what I want you to know. Don't be afraid to chase your dreams, no matter how big they seem. Life is too short not to pursue what makes you happy. And don't be afraid to fall in love. It's one of the most beautiful and painful things you'll ever experience, but it's worth it. Love deeply, and when you find someone who makes your heart race, hold on to them. I'm so proud of you, Olivia. Even though I'm not there in person, I'm with you every step of the way. Remember that. Love, Mom." Tears blurred Olivia's vision as she read the words her mother had written all those years ago. She hadn't even known these letters existed, and now at 30, she was reading the words meant for her 16-year-old self. All the moments her mother had missed, all the questions Olivia had longed to ask. Her mother had already anticipated them. One by one, she opened the rest of the letters. There was one for her high school graduation, another for her 18th birthday, and one for the day she was supposed to get married, though that letter had remained unopened as Olivia had yet to find the right person. Each letter was filled with advice, love, and encouragement, and with every word, Olivia felt a connection to her mother that she hadn't known she was missing. Her mother had been with her all along, in the words she never received, in the guidance she never got to hear. But as she reached the last letter in the box, one marked, "For when you're ready," Olivia's heart raced. She wasn't sure what could be inside. With trembling hands, she opened it. "My sweet Olivia, if you're reading this, it means you found the letters. I hope they brought you comfort and helped you feel closer to me. There's something you need to know, something your father may not have been able to tell you. Your father loves you more than anything in this world, but losing me broke him in ways I never imagined. He didn't know how to grieve, how to keep going, and in his pain, he made a decision that wasn't his to make. He kept these letters from you. Please don't be angry with him. He thought he was protecting you, but I know it's hurt you in ways he never understood. Forgive him, Olivia. He did the best he could, even if it wasn't always enough. I love you, and I always will. Mom. Olivia sat there, the letter clutched in her hands, tears streaming down her face. She understood now why her father had been the way he was, why he had seemed so distant and broken. He had been trying to protect her, to shield her from the pain of losing her mother, but in doing so, he had only created more distance between them. In the end, Olivia felt a deep sense of loss, not just for her mother, but for the years she and her father had spent apart. Both grieving in silence, neither knowing how to reach out to the other. As she wiped away her tears, Olivia knew what she had to do. She would forgive her father. She would cherish these letters, not just for the words her mother had left behind, but as a reminder that love, even in its absence, can endure. The rain outside had stopped, and for the first time in a long time, Olivia felt a sense of peace wash over her. She wasn't alone. She never had been. Conclusion. The story of Olivia and the forgotten letters teaches us about the complexities of grief and the unspoken ways we try to protect those we love. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, love has a way of finding us, whether it's through the people we've lost or the memories they've left behind. Sometimes healing comes not from holding on, but from letting go and finding forgiveness for those who couldn't bear to face their own pain. Make sure to subscribe for more stories to come and share if this story was helpful.